Now we're at my favorite heretical Christian group, the Gnostics. I always root for the underdog, so I just love them. Hello, and welcome to my ex-Christian secular Bible study bonanza. I am here to help you deconstruct. We're talking about the textbook, The New Testament, written by ex-Christian biblical historian Bart D. Ehrman. This is part 2 of chapter 1, so please come along. Now, in this textbook, the Gnostics' beliefs are simplified. One of the prevailing theories today is that the people we call Gnostics had varying beliefs among themselves. Unfortunately, the Gnostics had some anti-Semitic beliefs as well. Everybody was a real mess back then, but they have such a fascinating cosmology that many books have been written about them. Let's get to the basics. They thought that God, as worshipped by Jews and other Christians, was a twisted being that created the world with suffering in it because he's evil. He has his own realm, which he thinks is heaven, but he's wrong. The true heavenly realm is far bigger and far beyond him, and Jesus was sent from that celestial realm to tell us that God is a liar and a malevolent being. Who doesn't love this fucking drama? They had a bunch of other texts that didn't make it into the Bible. They liked the New Testament Gospel of John, but they also had Gospels of Mary, Philip, Judas, Peter, Thomas, and some others. These books disappeared off the earth for a while, but we have portions of most of them now, which we found at Nag Hammadi in 1945. And they are fascinating. I want you to remember, the Gnostics are real Christians. They called themselves Christians. They insisted that they were Christians. They argued with other Christians about who was a real Christian. But most importantly, Jesus' time on earth was pivotal to their beliefs. That is a Christian. So the final group the textbook talks about is the Proto-Orthodox Christians. These guys are the precursor to the Catholic Church and all churches across the world today, except for a handful that were hidden away for a long time. And they're the clear winner of the war. And it was a war between all these groups. They're the ones that ended up writing the Nicene Creed, and they decided which books made it into the Bible. The lie that we need to deconstruct here is their claim that other groups died out because there weren't very many of them and they weren't true believers. Both those things are false. There were a lot of other people who called themselves Christians and followed their own version of Christ. The Proto-Orthodox just didn't like their beliefs. If you take one thing from this, remember that the Proto-Orthodox Christians are the grandfathers of using verbal and physical violence to squelch heretics to push their own belief structure. The non-Proto-Orthodox Christians didn't die out because they didn't have the numbers. They died out because the Proto-Orthodox actively stamped them out by any means available. As the textbook says, the development of the canon of Scripture within Proto-Orthodox circles is in large part an attempt to define what true Christians should believe by eliminating or compromising the views of other groups. So instead of the lie that we were taught in Christianity, quote, the Christian scriptures did not drop from the sky one day in July, the year Jesus died, end quote. It was a giant fight between the Ebionites, the Marcionites, the Gnostics, and the winners, the Proto-Orthodox Christians, who brought us all the lies we're now deconstructing from. I'm going to finish up chapter 1 in the next part with a summary of the holy writings of each group.